Well, hello there. Thank you for watching Tone Junkie TV. My name is HW, and this is...
The Sooze.
The Sooze is finally with us live. He speaks. He doesn't just play the guitar.
Yeah, true.
And actually, you've spoken before.
Yeah, practicing.
That's right. What do we got today?
We've got the Bearfoot Tour Box.
Bearfoot?
Barefoot.
Barefoot?
Yeah.
The Tour Box.
Tour Box.
As seen on the gear page.
Yes.
And this is going around.
Brand new versions of 4 pedals.
I haven't played any of these, and there's a good amount of stuff here, but I haven't played any of these. I don't know much about these pedals.
Yeah, I had a previous Tour Box that had the Model G, but the old version. High Watt, but the old version. Pale Green Compressor, I think it was version 3. And this one is supposed to be solving the tone issue by splitting a tone knob into bass and treble. So you get different controls over the EQ.
It's more of a mint green compressor.
Right.
It actually is like a perfect mint green, like you get on an old Fender scratch plate.
I wonder if that was copyrighted. Mint green.
Mint green may have been copyrighted.
And then Pink Purple Fuzz.
So I haven't really heard these. So this is a real, we're going to run through them and see what these things sound like. And maybe they're great, maybe they're not. Bearfoot stuff's a little pricey.
Yeah, they're $222.
They're boutique. I mean,
yeah.
these are boutique pedals, you know. And a little hard to find sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you got to go find a shop that has a pretty good selection.
Especially these new ones probably.
Yeah.
On Reverb or whatever.
I think this Model G is sold out on the site we just saw too, right? You can't even...
Can't even get them from them.
Yes, you can't even get them from them.
Good
It's
luck.
that hot right now. Okay, let's try it. Pink Purple Fuzz. And let's see it. It's kind of it's a lot more traditional than you know what I mean? That's like almost, I would use that as like an alternative to a heavy drive. You know, it's not
like distortion-y
instead
of like super fuzzy.
Yeah, it's not real spitty. It's kind of, you know, vintage sounding. Keep playing a little bit. I mean, there's a sound in there, the darker stuff. Keep going a little bit. You could go kind of both ways, like kind of bright, like small amp sound, kind of no bass, or it sounds, I thought that was a cool sound kind of with the treble down, bass up.
Let's try the neck there. Get like a creamy neck fuzz going.
ton of bass in there. You can do a lot of, but it's a pretty traditional kind of sounding fuzz. It's not like Sputnik super spitty.
Right.
And actually, I prefer stuff like this. Like it sounds. You don't have to play like really experimental or out there stuff. You could easily throw this in over any kind of higher gain guitar part and instantly get a different thing, especially a lead part. I think that's really easy to work in.
I think it would be a good like first fuzz to own. Like if you didn't want a big muff, you didn't want an old maestro or some weird sound. It's just like a solid sounding fuzz.
I dig that. Actually, really dig that. I wish I had more to say, but it's a very simple sounding box. I mean, it's actually the parameters are not huge.
Right.
I mean, even with the treble on 0, I thought there was a usable sound that just sounded darker. It has a lot of bass, and you could really punish, a low wattage kind of amp with that, and then, I mean, you could use this fuzz dial a lot of places.
We'll see how it stacks too later.
We'll see how it stacks. Okay, pale green compressor, maybe more aptly named the mint green compressor, but I digress. That's cool. Yeah. That's a lot of compression.
Yeah.
I don't know what number it's up to there, what the ratio would be, but that's high. That sounds more than I don't know.
Yeah, it's beyond 12 to me is not something I would use.
Yeah.
But from
I'm guessing we're getting into like 20-1 or more at the highest range. I mean, there's a lot of
crushed.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Yeah.
And that's at noon on the compression.
Yeah, noon, a little bit below.
Yeah. But we went through Cali 76, Ego.
Right. We played a lot of compressors, and
it's very on the extreme side of that stuff. Without a blend control, you're getting full comp, aggressive volume, aggressive compression at noon already.
Right.
So
it sounds pretty country right here.
Yeah. Sustain.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
Sure.
It sounds more like Squeezer to me than like Dynacomp.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like it sounds. I play a little more. I don't know what maybe what it smells like. It actually now doesn't sound squeezy to me, but so I retract my earlier statement. But that's good sound.
Yeah,
you can it's pulling out the note, but it doesn't sound like you don't hear the gain raising, if that makes sense. Like sometimes you can hear in like definitely in like any like a Dynacomp or Ross style, you can almost hear it like as it's pulling, as it's grabbing. Now we don't get any attack or release controls. We just have a comp amount, and so those are just set,
right,
based on the circuit. But that's a good sounding compressor.
Yeah, for sure.
How's it feel?
It feels good. I mean, it almost feels like when I hit it hard, it's getting quieter than where it's going to take the compression up to in a weird way.
Right.
Like I'm hitting it and it's way lower, and then it comes up to louder, which is not for me. Like my favorite compressor is the Ego compressor because it has that blend control.
Right.
And so I can get my transient. I can get my, but I still get that sustain on the tail ends. Right. But not at the transient.
We're joined by a fly.
I see that.
Yeah. How does it feel about the compressor?
Who knows, really?
No, this is good. Can I play this? Because I want to feel how this thing sounds. That feels a lot more squashed than it sounded to me a minute ago. Hang on, I'm gonna bring this down to like. Yeah, you can really hear. Like a lot of squash. Yeah. That feels really good. And I don't always like the most squash, but it feels really good.
Yeah.
I could play that.
So it's worth noting that that's more extreme compression than the version 3 I've read, and there's the 2 tone controls. So right now we've got bass at noon and treble at 3. Right. That would have been I don't think achievable not possible on the version 3. Right. So there's a couple upgrades if you have a version 3 and you want those things, it's definitely worth upgrading.
Yeah, I would own that compressor. How much are these?
$222, I think.
$2 something.
Yeah, on the site. Yeah.
I would own that. Yeah. Sounds like I'm hitting all the notes even.
It's compressing them.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear this one. I heard this one for a second, and
the Model G.
The Model G, and
this is my favorite of the box. I'll just go ahead and get that out of the way.
So it's a new Model G. It's based on an old Gibson, like GA20, kind of the early little Tweedy Gibsons, and I don't know what's different than the older model.
So the C knob is now the comp knob. Probably just the same thing, but the complaint about the old one was that it was too subtle. You'd sweep through that C knob and kind of be like, I think I hear what's happening.
Right, and who knows what a C knob is doing anyway.
Right, and so this one, I hear more gain as you get more clockwise, and then more squish. Right, as the name would indicate. But
and so it says on the site it's like a cousin to the Honeybee. But a cousin to the Honeybee, like the GA20, would be a cousin to a Supra.
Right. Yeah.
Like similar starting points, but different. And this one's got a little scratch on it.
It does.
Which we did not put there.
It's a tour box, so it's made its way around the country.
So when the questions get asked, let this serve as video evidence.
It's there.
That it was there when we got it.
That's right.
nature knob here too.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know about that?
Yeah, so that's very similar to the tone knob on the Bearfoot or the Honeybee and like some of the Honey Beast. All the way left, you're gonna get like a lot of low end, and then you go all the way right, it's gonna get brighter and cut low end. It's a touch brighter too as you go up that comp.
It is the comp. I can hear that somewhere around like 1 or 2 o'clock. Do we know what that is? Is that actually like a compressor, like a little compressor circuit pre the pedal?
That I'd have to look up, but yeah, I mean. The compressor, I think, is hitting that gain stage. Getting more gain, but it might also be lopping off maybe some of that lowness. Yeah. I've read that of course the nature and the comp kind of play off of each other.
Sure.
So you can, if you want to gain back some of that low, and you can turn that.
Let's hear how much drive is on hand. We've been at like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
This is on the bridge.
Bridge, yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
Go. I mean, even on max, like play a little more.
Yeah.
That sounds killer. And I was trying to think as you were just playing, does it sound like what I think that little amp sounds like? I don't know. There's not a ton of bass, but it doesn't sound too. And I mean this in a good way. It doesn't sound too little ampy. It just doesn't. This pedal doesn't sound boxy in the way if you ever played like a Blues Junior or a Princeton. You hear the 10-inch speaker in a Princeton. I think a Blues Junior, does that have a 12? A full 12?
12, yeah.
Okay, but that amp sounds boxy. Small amps have a sound. And this has a low... Dude, this thing just sounds killer. This to me sounds... And this is... I get it, why I think it sounds accurate. It sounds like Joe Perry.
Right.
It sounds like Mike Campbell... Maybe some Tom Petty-ish stuff, although not exactly Mike Campbell. But it sounds like Joe Perry to me. That's what it like instantly Brad Whitford, Joe Perry, and that's Page and all the guys from like in the 70s and stuff were famous for Princeton's on 10, little amps on 10.
Right.
I'm sure if we looked up some famous recordings, there's lots of Gibson GA20s.
Yeah.
On 10, and that's what this thing sounds like at the high gain settings. It doesn't sound totally like it's going to explode, but it sounds like total rock and roll.
Hit the bypass. We'll do it on the 4 position.
That was a neck single coil, right?
That was here.
Yeah,
okay,
neck single coil.
And then neck humbucker.
I might have to buy one of these. That's a special pedal.
Yeah.
I get why it's sold out.
Yeah.
This
Everyone
is sold
else
out on the
knows.
site right now.
Right.
Now this is the Model G Plus.
Yes.
It's new, right?
I think you could tell with
sounds
the comp knob instead of a C knob. I think that's
Yeah, the comp. Now the comp. It sounds like a compressor. In there, it didn't sound like I don't think it's emulating, more or less headroom in that amp.
right.
It sounds just like
you're adding
a compressor. That's not bad. It just play a little more. I have the gain on 10 because it sounds so great.
Right.
But it actually does other sounds pretty well. Like down here it sounds. Try cleaning it up with the comp high and then with the comp low. I'll put the comp low. You try cleaning it up with the volume knob, and then we'll put the comp high and see how that plays out. So that was with the comp low. I'm gonna put the comp. That was the comp at 9 o'clock. I'm gonna put it all the way up at 3 o'clock, a little more, and just try the same thing, full on, and then clean it up a little bit with the volume knob. That sounds great.
Yeah.
I felt like it cleaned up better. Like that extra high end in the comp knob, that comp knob kind of pushes into the pedal, helped clean it up and keep kind of a brighter tone when you cleaned it up. What'd you think?
Maintaining it more. Yeah. I mean, there's also benefits to the first one of, we were talking about this before, more extreme, having that comp on versus less extreme.
Right.
So there's something nice about it with it low.
Yeah.
I can really get it to clean up rather than with the comp. It's still
pushing
it
a bit.
It a little bit. Yeah.
It almost acted like I think adding that high end almost made it act like a treble bleed. Like a treble bleed would maintain the high end of your guitar.
Right.
Feeling it, is different. I'm, just hearing it. I noticed the high end.
And there's a woolliness too with that comp all the way to the left.
Yeah.
That kind of goes away when you get that higher.
This thing sounds killer.
Awesome. Yeah.
This is this has got to go on the shelf up there because this is a good sounding pedal. Play that one more time. Just look, bridge. Don't get fancy, right? We're always getting too fancy with this stuff. A bridge humbucker with this sound, it sounds like, I'm just gonna put the comp at 12 because I don't remember where it's the best. The nature knob I kind of like slightly below 12, I felt like, but I'm gonna move that nature knob around for it. But full on humbucker. This is like a Thornbucker PAF style thing.
With a brilliant video on this guitar, am I right?
What was that?
There's a brilliant video already done on this guitar. But check it out.
Amazing video.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Give me the bypass.
like Joe Perry, guys like Jimmy Page, what I've heard is the reason those small amps became popular, the reason Zep 1 is, from what I understand, a Princeton turned on 10, not a big Marshall stack, is because those guys in the earlier days of rock and roll were just using their ears, and they figured out that live, the smaller amp sounded better because it didn't have all that extra bass. And we know that now. Like we talk about all the time, like, you know, too much bass on the rhythm guitar, all that everything gets lost, right? And people shelve everything below, you know, 100K, 300K, you know, and just get rid of all that low end. And this thing, like when you were playing and you were on the low strings, it just instantly, I thought, oh, that would sound so good in a mix.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to hear those notes, the low notes of the guitar, but it's not going to venture anywhere near the bass. And that is a special pedal. I have to get one of those. When do you have to send this away?
It's like this weekend. Sorry, next person. You're going to get 3 pedals.
Okay. Well, no, they won't. It's a beautiful thing to send to our box.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks to Donner and Cindy and everyone that put together.
It's an expression of the trust that exists in the guitar community.
Yes, absolutely.
And we would never send that on for
take
only
advantage.
3 pedals. We would never. But this thing sounds incredible, and I'm gonna have to get.
Kudos.
Like, no joke, I'm going to buy one of these for whatever, $250, whatever.
Sure.
Hopefully it's not like $400.
Right.
but I'm getting one of these, definitely. The Model G Plus.
That's right.
These have all been good. This compressor has been very good.
Yeah.
I just don't buy a ton of compressors. I buy more drives and compressors, you know what I mean?
Right.
I've had a few compressors. This compressor was very awesome. If I liked a little more squash, this compressor sounds good. There was a time when I played a lot of like orange squeeze style, and I liked a lot of squeeze, a lot of squash. This compressor sounds very good to me.
Yeah.
To do that sort of thing.
It's quiet.
It's quiet.
Good size.
The Pink Purple Fuzz, that's something I would try out. Like, I would want to try that live and go, is this a cool kind of alternative tone to just another box I'm using for a lead kind of thing?
Right.
What I hear is, like, if you're a fuzz, not a huge fuzz guy, like you don't love all the crazy, like, you know, fuzz, like you know, if you're not experienced in the entire, you know, Devi ever, you know, fuzz, like, you know, and the pantheon of crazy fuzzes, this sounds like a good fuzz to try out. Get some great lead tones out of it.
You're not a huge fuzz.
I'm not a huge fuzz guy, and I actually really like traditional sounding fuzzes. Yeah, and so that's a fuzz I would play.
Yeah, sure.
That's a fuzz I would play, and I look forward to trying it out more. But that Model G Plus,
something else.
That's a special pedal, and have we run into pedals that are modeled after a GA20 like that?
No, I think that's kind of
that small amp sound.
Yeah. Other than the Super amps are coming into pedals.
Right. And there's some right, and JHS has the Super Bolt.
Yeah.
Right, which is like a Supro thing. But I've heard that pedal. And
it didn't elicit this response.
It did not elicit this response. That's what I'm going to say. It did not elicit this response.
Right.
This is a killer pedal.
Yeah.
We're not even done yet, and I'm walking away going, I need a pedal.
You might like the Honeybee as well. Have you played the Honeybee?
I have played the Honeybee.
Okay.
I like the Honeybee a lot. But
it's a little more there.
This is different than the Honeybee. I'd have to try them next to each other to really hear the similarity.
Right.
The Honeybee was great. I played that. Yeah, that was good. Anyway, okay, what do we got? Model H.
Model H.
Model HW?
I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Model H, it's a high watt.
It's a high watt.
And this thing can go all the way clean. And you can really, get some pickup dirt.
Yeah, I think there was a complaint about the other Model H is that it was too dirty, too quick. And so this is trying to remedy that by, if I recall...
Because you turn on pedals for their clean sound.
Right.
Why
it's a dirt pedal.
Right. I mean, we all turn on pedals to make sounds cleaner. So... Okay, I'm kidding, right? What you think was going to happen. Okay, but this one stays cleaner, and than the previous Model H.
Yeah. So we'll start on a single coil.
Yeah, single coil, and I'm going to bring the drive down. I just want to put it at 12 because I have no idea what this thing sounds like.
Okay.
And play a little. It's the other British sound.
Yeah. Sure.
Famously used, probably most famously by David Gilmour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that means. That didn't sound very Pink Floydy.
Right. Yeah.
Although it might have been your playing.
It could have been.
You know what it sounds like to me? The biggest thing that jumps out to me is the Model G really felt to me and sounded like small iron, small output section, sounded like a small amp. That sounded like a large amp. A large amp, like, how did it feel? Stiff? Squishy?
I mean, a little stiff maybe.
Okay. But that's the feeling that a large amp would have. That would be a 100-watt Marshall feel. That would be a 100-watt, I get in this case, high watt feel, a big iron.
Right.
It's gonna that stiffness is gonna be there. It's the stiffness you hear on Little Wing, right? Mm-hmm. Like you hear there's a real lack of squash when he hits boo boo. Mm-hmm. You know. Mm-hmm. That was my little.
Yeah, that was great.
That was pretty good. You knew what I was talking about. But dude.
Right. And Keith Urban also famously uses the high walls.
Okay. Yeah.
And loud, as I've been told.
Yeah.
Roll through that tone knob because that was part of my critique too of this one. It behaves differently than a lot of the other Barefoot dirts.
Okay.
And that you don't get that big bass boost when you go loud.
Okay. Of difference below 12 o'clock. It seems to just darken. Yeah. And then below 12, I don't hear a ton of stuff going on. Above 12, it starts to get brighter. And then I'm actually really liking the sound when we get to like 3 o'clock.
Okay.
And maybe, I don't know, what are you hearing?
I was used to that nature knob, kind of giving you like almost a tilt EQ,
right?
You know, like a lot of bass and then cutting a lot.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it's unclear what that's doing when you get to the extremes of it. Maybe it's just leave it at 12 or 2 or wherever you like it. Not a big deal, but
right.
How about that drive knob? We're getting cleaner, coming below 12, right?
Yeah. Yeah. that feel like clean?
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, it's got a. Do you want to take a?
Yeah.
Let's try with this.
It's it feels stiff, like a big clean amp with really low preamp gain, which I think this would be. Do we know what model high watt this is?
Not
I think they made more than one.
Yeah. You're right.
I think they did. In a scheme to make a profit. They made not only more than one type of amp,
Right.
but several units of each.
Tricking consumers. Can you quick go back to that Model G? I'm just for a second here. What are they really doing?
That's the Model G's at full there. Let me get it back to a similar setting. That Model G,
HW.
I know, that Model G is really... Instantly, if you could hear that, there's more natural compression going on. No, that's not right. It's a cleaner, it's cleaner. There was more sustain on this Model 8. Where you could hear this. How do I say that? It's less gain.
Yeah.
It's less gain going on in the Model H. It's clean and sustained, and it just feels like cleaner, like a clean compressor. I could hear little Keith Urban in the, you know what I mean? Not in my playing. I mean I could hear the just that, like, kind of how like you're listening really loud. It's kind of how overdriven is that? Like it sings, but it's maybe not the most overdriven sound. Like this is not a huge amount of gain. Well, it was a little more than I thought. But it's actually those notes are very clear, very defined, you know? I'll tell you what though, my biggest thing is it sounds like a big amp. And that's what these things are, high headroom. I think they're high wattage. Get it?
Killer.
I mean, that may have been the pun.
I love that.
Because I don't think they make any low wattage amps. I know now they have some combos.
Yeah.
But the old...
But they're meant to turn up and play loud.
Yeah. If you blindfolded someone and said, hey, I want you to play this Marshall pedal, and you put on this setting...
Interesting.
They'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know that you'd scream and go, that's not the Marshall, you know what I mean? But that's a really nice...
Still Model G for you? Yeah, I think I'd rather hear a little amp working hard than a really big amp trying to like get it to gain up.
Yeah.
You're getting it earlier with that.
There are different sounds, man. I have a hard time saying that I like one of those better than the other. You really like the Model G a lot more.
I think because also how it was feeling. Actually, when I'm listening to them, they're a closer race. Model H.
It could be said, I mean, and this would be a fair critique of the Model H. You can't do anything about that low end.
No.
It doesn't bother me right here where I'm sitting in this room, and I feel like with, we're playing through a Kemper and we've got like a Vox Brilliant channel kind of thing going on. But that amount of bass, if that's too much for somebody in their amp, there's nothing you can do about that. Like you said, I don't hear the low end rolling off in the low part of that tone. It seems to just be a tone knob. And that is kind of a characteristic of this pedal. One of the things I mean when I say it sounds like a big amp is it's stiff and has a lot of bass. The Model G does not have a lot of bass. That's one of the things making it sound like a small amp. Not a lot of bass. That like kind of a grindy overdrive, and then you can feel there's not a lot of headroom, and yeah, that lack of bass. It sounds like a smaller power section sound. If that Model H has too much bass for you, you're
especially
out of luck.
Integrating it to a full board of drive pedals.
Yeah.
When you get to that, I feel like the Model G can just kind of add in maybe like a tube screamer would lob off some low end.
Yeah.
Just kind of adds to whatever else you got going on. The Model H, just for a personal thing, for me would be a sound I wouldn't want to go to with my other drives.
I hear that though, like the Keith Urban sound. I think there's a modern country kind of move to that sound. I mean, there's definitely, you hear that. It's clean. It's clear. There's a lot of gain there, but it's clear when you're playing it. You know what I mean? And so if you're really moving around, I almost feel like it has a similar EQ curve to a Tele. It's got strong bass, strong highs. I could hear it even though those are, I'm saying it's similar. I could hear those working together well.
Yeah.
I like both of these, but I would say for me, the Model G, I would use more than the Model H. The Model H to me, I would put, if I want that sound and I've got a bigger board and I'm running like maybe 3 or 4 drives, then I'm going to have room for a Model H. That Model G, I could hear someone, especially if you're going for like just classic rock sound, if you're going for, I don't know, any kind of sound, you might go for a Supro. That could be kind of alt rock right now. Like it's an in sound.
Yeah, quintessential to me, like crunchy rhythm tones.
Yeah. A rhythm player, I think, would really enjoy that Model G. That give you a nice, you sit in the mix without having too much bass, and that nature knob actually lets you bring in some bass or cut it out.
Right.
So there is some more flexibility there.
Yeah.
Plus,
and the comp knob.
The comp knob. You don't get a comp knob on a lot of pedals, except for a compressor. Which brings us back to the pale green minty compressor.
Right, you have to have that.
That comp knob couldn't take the place of a compressor, but this is a good compressor. Have we heard these together? Let's hear. Try.
Let's stack some of these.
Model H and pale green. We've gone too far.
It's too much. Yeah.
But you know, that was, I think there was a thing here. So that's that Pink Purple Fuzz. I got these things falling off. That Pink Purple Fuzz doing its fuzziness, but then when you throw it into the Model G, I did a pretty good job of feeling like you were putting it into an amp.
Yeah.
It was coloring it a ton, and we were really just pushing all that signal into the Model G, getting more out of the Model G. I'm really impressed with the Model G. That Pink Purple Fuzz sounded really great just now, even turning off the Model G. These are great.
Yeah. All awesome.
These guys know how to make pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have they been doing this a while?
You know, they're, I think, derived from...
I know.
What is it?
I know all about it. No. Well, you know what's cool? These guys were Boutique before Boutique was cool.
Yeah. What was the one before? I'm having a hard time remembering. Is it BJF?
Uh-huh.
Is that the first one? Okay.
Yeah. And then there's been a bunch, like, you know, Matt Professor's made some of those circuits and stuff, and I'm not really sure how it all works together exactly, but
these are definitely more affordable,
right?
Than some of those,
right than some of those, right? But there have been some mass-produced overseas versions from other people of similar circuits, right? Matt Perfect. Anyway, no. These things sound great. They sound killer. That Model G, that Model H has grown on me as we've been playing it more. And I have never really stopped and been like, I need the high watt sound in my arsenal, but that sounded killer. You know, that sounded really good. Well, so listen, thank you so much for watching Tone Junkie TV. You know, it's okay to do a long video every now and then.
Yeah, with this many great pedals.
With this many great pedals and the tour box. And I hope people find this useful if you didn't get the tour box. If you were not privileged enough, lucky enough to get your hands on the Model G, the Model H, the Pink Purple Fuzz, and the pale green, mint green compressor. We hope that you can hear what they sound like and that you, you know, maybe have been moved to try one out for yourself anyway. I know I am going to. I've influenced myself to purchase one of these. Right.
You're the best person to do that.
You're right.
HW knows tone.
HW does know tone. And these pedals are toneful. They're very nice. I would recommend people check these out. I would recommend, if you have an opportunity to check out Bearfoot pedals, that you check them out. I have not tried the Honey Beast. I have not tried that one. You mentioned that earlier. Honey Bee, I have. Yeah.
There's also the Uber Bee.
I have not tried that one either.
Yeah, there's so many.
You know, tempting. But this Model G, I'm definitely getting. Model H, I'm going to keep an eye out for it. That could be one I try out. You know what? Actually, the Pink Purple Fuzz, I could add that to a board.
Yeah.
Why not? Anyway, I have been HW.
I've been the Sooze.
This has been the Sooze, and you have been watching Tone Junkie TV. Hey, please subscribe, leave a comment below. We really have a great time doing this, but we love the questions in the comments, and let us know what you liked and didn't like. Thank you very much, Bearfoot, for having the tour box go out, and the Sooze got this one, and so thank you very much. Anyway, HW, the Sooze, out.